Whew, day 37. You know, somebody once told me this world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. All right, what do we got here? What are we at? We're at 296. Day 37, 296 of 647 pages. Follow your dreams. All right. Kakama Riot Hour. That was amazing. And let's let everybody know that there's some editing afoot. I can't believe that out in Oakland they stole a fucking bulldozer and then didn't know how to operate it at all. That was the worst part of it there. I guess the guy was learning on his feet, but so that's something. But yeah, now we got fucking. What we got there? Let's go there. Let's go to the JRE server, and let's go there. And then hopefully I have some restream chat. No justice, no peace, according to Stratum right there. Yeah, I just like went out for a walk and found like a piece of fucking NYPD graffiti. I gotta tell you, I have serious questions as to whether or not somebody like the MSS or the fucking new KGB is behind like a lot of this shit. It's really and truly, it does seem like there's some central organizing principle behind it above and beyond what I've seen. And even shit like Occupy Wall Street, where it was obvious that they were getting some funding from people who had like skin in the game. But in this case, it just seems particularly egregious, especially coupled with like the loss of life and burning down buildings and police stations and shit. Oh, yeah, man. Like, there's going to be a bill for all this horse shit. I just wonder if it's China fucking meddling. If they were finally like, this CIA shit you guys are doing is kind of cool. Like, what if we give it a try? And I honestly, I'm not even trying to troll here. That's what I think is going on. I think it's the MSS. But how about that MS Word manuscript right here? I'm going to see what I can get done today. We're going to go back over this chapter just because it was like a relatively difficult one. And we want to get through chapter 36, and we'll see if we can make it to 300 pages today. That'd be like kind of an accomplishment. But yeah, it's a slower edit than the one previous. I wasn't able to do my regular show last night. Let's see. Nicholas Maduro comes to the glow in the dark China niggas. God. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of not PC shit you could say along those lines, but I don't know, fuck it, I don't blame him. I'd be doing some wild shit too if I was fucking out there. All right, hold on. I was trying to see. Yeah, so hold on, can I let me see if I can pull this up. Let me show you some of the work that I'm doing for this Rapasaurus game. I've just been working on this shit a little bit. Here, I need to pull up NDIHX. NDIHX is really cool. Basically, you can stream off of your cell phone. And let me just try that there. And, okay, cool. And I think I can just hit this button. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. So you can see working with this whole game setup here to record it. we'll see what the fuck happens here, but it's a part of a plan for a sort of live RPG stream thing that I have. Hopefully, I can make it work out. But I've just been fooling around with that since I don't really have the energy to do a lot else. I've been sick the last couple of days. Hopefully not that Rona. We're gonna find out. But yeah, so I haven't been able to get down to any of the looting or rioting or whatever. I'm not a fan of looting in general. Like, I feel like people have like a significant basis for being angry in this case, because obviously murder. But the damage that they'll do in freaking out and the legislative response that they'll get, it's just the scales aren't balanced. And it does seem to me like people are getting fooled by external bad actors, but I don't have any evidence of that. That's just how it feels. But, I saw a video today of a guy who tried to defend a store with a samurai sword, and he charged the crowd and they beat him with a skateboard and stoned him with rocks. You could see him just destroyed, laying on the street on some fucking Naruto type bullshit. It's a real pro gamer move right there. Oh, but yeah, he got annihilated by this crowd of people. Yeah, I just every morning I wake up and wait to see that people have just started fucking shooting. But it's not too bad yet, fortunately. In Brooklyn, it's been relatively chill. I see about the same amount of anti-police graffiti as normal. The NYPD can be kind of dicks. Let's be fair, like writing you tickets for stupid shit and so forth. And I'm not going to say that there isn't like a significant racial component to the way that policing goes down and so forth. But having lived in cities where there is no police presence whatsoever, I will tell you that I will take that bargain any day of the week. It is not fun when there are no police around. That shit is, going back to Mad Max times. Like, I'm sure it sounds great to have some anarchy and so forth if you're just thinking about it in the abstract. Like, yeah, we'll do whatever we want and so forth. It's like a little bit less fun than you might think. And if you are, I just don't understand how you can be an anarchist and not have like a cache of fucking weapons. You know what I mean? And just be ready to go all the time. I gotta understand people who like thrive in chaos and conflict, wanting there to be a breakdown of the social order. But a lot of these people protesting are pussies, in an objective analysis, and are not prepared for that like dark triad, 5% of the population that is just sociopathic and will fuck them unremittingly. Which is what we're dealing with a little bit in this book. So let's not edit from the beginning of this chapter. It's weird to not get through a complete chapter, but yesterday we couldn't. So we're getting to this cab sequence, and then maybe we'll go back and scroll a little bit. So let's review a tiny bit. Maybe I'll just read through it, because I'd like to do a little ebook reading today. But so this is a scene where, in this book, because it's been a little bit for a few of you here, one of the children in the book, Matthew, has been essentially possessed by a character who, if not directly the devil, has got a lot of devil happening in him. And during that possession, this character, Kaiser Duchance, had Matthew steal a police car and drive out to an access road by JFK Airport, where the planes come right in. They're flying just like 100 feet off of the ground at that point. And he had him stand on the roof of the police cruiser in the pouring rain, like up on top of them cherry and berries, with an M16. And he shot down the fucking plane just by opening up on the cockpit and killing both pilots. So the plane, unfortunately, didn't just go down. It wound up gliding its way right into Terminal 5 of JFK. Huge explosion. So we don't have an official death toll in the book, but there were 300 people on the plane, and I'm just spitballing out there, like about 1,000 people probably died in that thing. And then Matthew kind of snaps out of it as like, oh shit, what did I fucking do? So a lot of this chapter is him dealing with this sort of being caught in a nightmarish dream, this unreality where he didn't choose to do this act, but at the same time, he might have chosen to do this act because he's kind of a wild child. So he's having difficulties separating between himself and to chance, and it's an interesting time for everybody. So his solution to the problem of having committed an act of mass murder is to try and flee the country and go to Costa Rica, because he hasn't been identified at this time, and he's a 14-year-old boy, or 15. Matthew is 15. So he has recruited his best friend, Gabriel Thibodeau, whose nickname is Thirsty, to come with him, and has baited him in with $20,000 of stolen money that he has access to. And this scene is the two of them going to the Apple store, and he just like gives his friend $3,000 and says, "Buy whatever the fuck you want." And while that's going on, he's ruminating on, why did I do that? What's going on? How am I going to get out of this? So let's go to. I'll just do a read through here to hear the sound of my own voice. So, this is Lemon Maybe and the Electric Lady by Zak Zyz, read by the author. Chapter 36, Holland Closer, 2.5, 5:55 p.m., Midtown. This is actually Central Park East. Central Park East. So it's like Fifth Avenue and like just at that corner of the park. So I would consider it more Central Park East than Midtown. Actually, hold on. Hold on, So it says Lenox Hill over here. Fucking, that's not helpful. Little Brazil. Nobody calls that fucking Little Brazil. Yeah, I'd call it fucking Central Park East. I wouldn't call it Lenox Hill over in that area. There's the Upper East Side. That's where they're at, up there in old Harlem. Fucking Yorkville. Yeah, I don't, hold on. Let's take a look at that neighborhood map. NYC neighborhoods map. We're really taking these fucking Reddit nerds at their word here. No, I guess we're gonna call it Midtown. Yeah, that's right on the fucking border of the two. Because it's there, right? It's right there. Yeah, we got to call it Midtown. I'm sure that future readers will feel vindicated that we've done so much research on exactly what neighborhood we're in. It's the chapter title. It doesn't actually matter. All right, chapter 36. What if he takes control of me while we're on the plane? Matthew freezes in front of the iMac monitor. A confirmation window pops up, declaring his purchase was successful. 2 tickets from Newark to Juan Santa Maria Airport, courtesy of Gerald's Amex. It's a direct flight, departing at 9:06 p.m. tonight. Better run. Since his father is unwittingly paying for their escape, Matthew thought about buying first-class tickets. Let's have him consider that. Since his father is unwittingly paying for their escape, Matthew considered. I don't like this line. Matthew considered buying. Since Gerald's unwittingly paying, Matthew considered buying first-class tickets. Since Gerald's unwittingly paying, Matthew considered buying first-class tickets. Thirsty would love that. Thirsty would flip out. But it's a bad, bad idea to draw attention to himself the day after he shot down a jetliner. First class is closer to the cockpit. Do not capitalize airline seat classes. Airport capitalize as part of a proper name. Huh, that's useful. Yep. So we just don't capitalize first class. But it's a bad, bad idea to draw attention to himself the day after he shot down a jetliner. Plus, first-class seats are closer to the cockpit. A 5-hour flight will be a lot shorter if Duchance possesses Matthew. I don't like this. This is like so telly. Condoms, they don't work. I thank God that Telly in the movie Kids is the villain, so that every time something is too Telly in a fucking story, you can just think of the character Telly. Ooh. Their 5-hour direct flight will be a lot. Yeah. Their 5-hour flight will be a lot shorter if Duchance makes Matthew hijack the plane. Mm. Let's see if we made an okay change to that. Since Gerald's unwittingly paying, Matthew considered buying first-class tickets. Thirsty would flip out. But it's a bad idea to draw attention to himself right now. And first-class seats are closer to the cockpit. Their 5-hour flight will be a lot shorter if Duchance makes Matthew hijack the plane. You can imagine it. His hands locked on the controls, the plane's nose reflected in the glass windows of an office building, getting bigger and bigger. He can imagine it. His hands locked on the controls, the plane's nose reflected in the glass windows of an office building, looming larger and larger as the turbines scream. Matthew shakes his head, trying to dislodge the intrusive thought. Matthew shakes his head to try and dislodge the intrusive thought, but it digs in like a tick. Matthew and Thirsty are gleaming the cube, shopping downstairs on the Fifth Avenue Apple store. There's a mob of people around him staring at screens, blind to the world. Let me see, did it start? Yeah, cool. Oh yeah, we're unable to connect to Mixer for whatever. I wonder if I got fucking banned from Mixer. Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. I tried yesterday disconnecting the session and reconnecting it. They probably have some new TOS bullshit that you have to agree to. Fucking Microsoft. Whew. I like that. A mass murderer in their midst. There we go. All right. Matthew shakes his head to try and dislodge the intrusive thought, but it digs in like a tick. Matthew and Thirsty are gleaming the cube, shopping downstairs in the Fifth Avenue Apple store. There's a mob of people around him staring at screens, blind to the world. They have no idea there's a mass murderer in their midst. Matthew can only hope that EWR is far enough away that Duchance's power can't reach him. Then he wonders if that's even true. He pulls up MapQuest and yeah. So logic says that chiggers are worse than ticks. I don't know, man. Chiggers don't really. You don't get the same fucking. What is it? There's like Chagas disease that you can get from chiggers. Um, or maybe that's just some kind of like mosquito or fly or whatever there. But that Lyme disease will fuck you up in a serious way, man. And ticks, I don't know. I don't like those motherfuckers. Yeah, I would definitely. If we just got rid of ticks and fucking mosquitoes and the Irish, the world would be just a probably. Oh wait, one of those things doesn't fit in there. But no, I read like a study that said that you could just annihilate every mosquito on the earth, and it would just be a net benefit to like every other living creature. They truly are the worst of the worst. Okay. I remember getting those chiggers all over because there used to be Spanish moss all over the place when I was a kid playing in the yard and so forth. And so you would get that shit on you everywhere. Mm. As well, you should have. All right, hold on. I sent somebody an image. Oh, okay. They did not reply. That's okay. Mm-hmm. There we go. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. What's up, Big Logic? How you doing right there? All right. Newark's further away. You can't reach me there, Matthew hopes. There has to be a limit to Duchance's reach. There has to be a limit to Duchance's reach. Frowning, Matthew wonders if he's even right about the distance. He pulls up MapQuest and learns he's dead wrong. It's only 10 miles from Chinatown to Newark International Airport. It's 13 to JFK. Fuck. It doesn't matter, the tickets are bought. So I don't like the transition. Well, he shuts his eyes and tries to think about the beach. What was he, 8 years old? He must have been 8 because he was 9 when his parents split up. Well, let's make his mother's name Delia. Okay. Comment. Because he was 9 when Gerald and Delia split up. Costa Rica was the last... Costa Rica was the last trip they took together as a family. Matthew remembers the tour guide who called him Senor, the beaches with the turquoise water, the jungle growing right up to the dunes, and the parrot that landed on his shoulder and ate pieces of apple right out of his hand. That's still his favorite picture. There's a tutting sound from behind. Someone is anxious for their turn on the computer. Matthew can see his reflection in the IMAX glossy bezel. A young man in a ball cap, maybe a high school senior or a college freshman. Let's make him a Twins fan. No, let's make him an Astros fan. A big guy in an Astros cap. Shout out to Astro. I mean, I'm just doing it because they're super cheaty. Hold on. Let's take a look at that suggestion. It's only 10 miles from... It's 13 miles to JFK. Yeah, that is kind of like a weak construct right there. What we're trying to say, essentially, in that is our reasoning there. What the fuck are we trying to say? Let's make sure that I even know what I'm trying to do here. Our reasoning there is that like he was like Duchance was able to possess him all the way out to JFK. Hold on, let's just try that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we save some time, save some words. That's a good suggestion. Boom, getting them points. And Spathy was, well, he's okay. Usually on the weekends he chills on the editing. God, that guy's a national fucking treasure, by the way. He does so much good shit that helps me out there as a true friend. Yeah, you'll remind me, if I'm thinking about it, I got to do something nice for Spathy because he helps me out so much, and I like give him so little in return. At some point, I got to marry him for citizenship or do some crazy shit like that. Note INS, I'm not actually doing that. Fucking, I know how y'all be scheming. All right, what do we got here? So we, ow. We need to trim this fat a little bit here. Matthew doesn't bother turning around. He raises his hand and flips the guy off. He's hoping the asshole will say something. He's hoping this asshole will say something, wishing for an excuse to rip him apart. But the guy just sucks his teeth and walks off. He hogs the computer for a few more moments in case the guy comes back, and closes the confirmation window. He knows flying is a dumb idea, and not just because of Duchance. The tickets leave a trail that can be followed. He ought to buy a bus ticket with cash and flee to some shithole state like Nebraska or Kansas, somewhere Gerald would never think to look for him. But on some really stupid level, I don't like that, yeah. But on the most basic level, Matthew knows it has to be Costa Rica. It's the last place he can remember being happy. Besides, Gerald's probably too drunk right now to look for his shoes, much less a runaway in Central America. Besides, Gerald's probably too drunk right now to look for his shoes, much less a runaway in Central America. If Matthew and Thirsty can get 100 miles away from San Jose, no one will ever find them. Hold on. Boom. Let's just make sure that you can get 100 miles away from San Jose. Things get like a little... It's not as narrow as Panama, but... Yeah, as I thought, like 100 miles from San Jose is kind of like a... Oh, is he going to fucking Liberia? Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you can get 100 miles from San Jose. Just barely, yeah. Because like 100 miles from San Jose is like almost in the ocean. Yeah, like the world gets kind of thin over there. If Matthew and Thirsty can get 50 miles... Yeah, let's just say, if Matthew and Thirsty can make it to San Jose, no one will ever find them. Thirsty spots Matthew from 2 tables... If they can make it to San Jose, no one will ever find them. Thirsty spots Matthew from 2 tables away and hurries over, grinning like a fool. He's telling Matthew about the stuff he picked out, a MacBook, an iPod Shuffle, a Mighty Mouse. Wait, when was the black MacBook? Because they made this for a tiny little bit. This forgotten black MacBook. Yeah, they made it back in the day. This black MacBook. 2006. Oh, it's time. Yeah. Yeah, they made these for like a hot second there. Uh, originally released in 2011. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's when they went from Intel to PowerPC. Yeah, yeah. That was only like $1,200 back then. So, when they arrived, Matthew peeled off $1,200 from the stack and told him to go nuts. Yo, man, it's okay if I'm like a couple hundred over? Hell yeah, there's more where that came from. Yeah, I like that it's a... Okay, so it makes me feel much better that we made this 2006, just so that he can have a black MacBook. Because that was like a fucking status symbol back in the day. It was like you had another $200 to throw at the problem, and there was some spite amongst the people who... hold on. I see Big Spathy War in the chat. We're talking about banning Too High to comply from the chat. It wasn't. Spathy is listening at the moment there. Um, yeah, it wasn't you and it wasn't me that banned the guy. It's probably just Spoke, honestly. I would assume that she was the one. Might have been Spoke. Might have been Vapor, honestly. He didn't much care for those people either. They're relatively liberal. So they can't put up with their like constant alt-right memeing. I don't give a shit, you know? Like, you know, fucking Lenin duking it out with Hitler there. I wouldn't give a fuck. Yo, man, it's okay if I'm like a couple hundred over? Hell yeah, there's more where that came from. Matthew strips off 3 more bills. Matthew flips him 3 more bills. Thirsty's, I can't believe this is happening, smile is easily worth another $300. They head for the checkout line. Matthew keeps drifting off as Thirsty babbles about... In the checkout line, Matthew keeps drifting off as Thirsty babbles about video card RAM. Matthew doesn't buy anything for himself. His own MacBook is still pretty new. It's in his backpack with his iPod and the headphones they swiped from Canal Street. He already had everything. He just didn't know it until it was too late. And this is like, it's weirdly out of place right here. So this chapter might need a little cutting. Oh, no, this is only like 2 pages that we've gotten through. Okay, so we're cutting out the part where he like waits outside and has Thirsty go in and buy the shit for him there, just because it's like adds a little unnecessary weight to the chapter IMO. So we're gonna. What the fuck was that thing? Duchamp's riding inside his skull. Crazy inhuman strength out of nowhere. Hot wires tearing up his inside. Yep. Just by the way, this right here, this is a black MacBook circa 2006. That's why it keeps beach balling. I really need to reboot this motherfucker. You know what it is? I think it's just having some issues with the Wi-Fi over here at Casa Lodito or Casa Zakito. So I bet that when it does this, it's just trying to save a backup to iCloud and fucking failing because the Wi-Fi is shit. Here, let me test that theory. No, I see bars. Fucking CNET. That's the last place I ever want to. Oh yeah, we just gotta kill it. Like that every time that we come back here, it just goes to why not just suck a dick? Boom. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we just cut it entirely. Yeah, it didn't fit. But good call. Matthew fights to remember. It's like swimming upstream. He gets a flash of Duchamp's riding inside his skull, the wires in his arms, pumping him full of inhuman strength. The army jacket popping out of nowhere. I want Hambeast to be all one word. The subway afterward, cleaning the ghost's blood from under his nails with his Swiss Army knife. Why did Duchance make me do that? Why? Matthew wonders for the 1000th time. Matt, why is he making me do this stuff? Matthew wonders for the 1000th time. Whew. Matthew keeps churning with worry until they reach the till. The cashier gives Thirsty a dubious look. With a grin, Thirsty slaps the pile of hundreds on the counter. That's what's up, Thirsty exclaims. The cashier rolls her eyes, makes the sale, and bags everything up. Matthew winces, glancing to see if anyone's watching them, but nobody cares. Nah, I don't like that. Yeah. On Fifth Avenue, Fifth Avenue is capitalized. Dith Avenue. Dith Avenue. On Fifth Avenue, they sit on the edge of a planter while Thirsty tears everything out of the packaging and repacks his backpack. Man, I can't fucking believe this. Look at all this shit. Look at these clothes, man. I got a MacBook. We're going to Costa Rica. Fuck yeah, Matthew smiles. He's glad as hell Thirsty's coming with him. So, those kids would just like leave that fucking trash sitting there in the planter, but we don't need to get into that whole deal at this time. Fuck, man. Already feeling faded. Maybe I'll feel better once I get some breakfast in me. I'm gonna make some eggs and beans and so forth. But yeah, just it's been a rough one for old ZYZ here. Hopefully I'll feel better. Newark Airport, pronto. The driver is a Nigerian man with a deep voice and bloodshot eyes. His name is Najiri Mongo, by the way. He nods at the command, then slings his cab out into traffic as horns blare all around them. Matthew's got his fingers crossed in the back seat, thinking, please, please, let this work. Thirsty's still in the afterglow of the shopping spree. They both ride with their backpacks in their laps. Let's just, yeah, let's just fucking cut this. I don't like the, yeah, it's like cutting all that. Thirsty still in the afterglow of the shopping spree. The cab shocks are shot to hell and they bounce over every dip in the road. The stereo's blaring some crazy bongo shit. Yo, man, what's it really like? Are there chickens running around in the street everywhere? They got bananas growing all over the place? Pretty much, yeah. Do the girls like Americanos? Fuck, man, they are Americanos. Centro Americanos. It's gonna be fucking dope. There's monkeys, so many birds. Yeah. Oh wow, monkeys is capitalized with an S. The bongo shit line. Yeah, like I almost was like, I might cut that. Like the one of the problems with doing the edit later is that my threshold for what you can get away with has changed a little bit in terms of writing. So yeah, it's always good to have like readers to be like, oh, I like that weird line, because that's the kind of thing where it just sticks out like a little bit to me, not like a sore thumb sticking out, but like the tiny head of like a finishing nail that sometimes snags the corner of a sweater as you're going by. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like those are things that I'll like uh, inadvertently hammer down because I'm so focused on having tighter writing nowadays. So like while this is something that I can definitely edit now and we can improve and so forth, I don't think I could write a book that's quite this audacious any longer because this is a younger man wrote this book. Um, doesn't mean like what I write now isn't audacious in its own right, but it's definitely like more polished and more subtle and like a lot less just ramming shit down the reader's throat, which is generally good. But sometimes you want that fucking nail that like rips through your foot. Hello, Hockenstein. What's up, big Spathy Wall? We were talking about you a little earlier. Central Americanos. It's gonna be fucking dope. So many birds. Fuck man, comma. Fuck man, they are Americanos. Central Americanos. Oh yeah, we need capital there. It's more of an emphasis. He's like basically shouting. Is we need more emphasis than italics can give. There, so it has to be there. It's gonna be fucking dope. There's monkeys everywhere. So many birds. The last time I was there, I saw a toucan. No shit. Right off the fucking cereal box, man. All right, hold on. Oh yeah, through Central America. Here, hold on. Where's their fucking range at? Oh, they're toucan. Oh, cool. Yeah. So they what? Look at this bird. Oh, what a G. Oh, they pilfer woodpecker holes for nesting and roosting. Yeah, that's a good looking Boyd. Great blur there too. Like that's like it's a fast ass lens too, because you can see like the plane is just like over here, right there, and he's already kind of a little out of focus over on here. So like his plane of focus is like from here to here. Neat. So big ass lens. Um, I, birds are kind of fucking weird. I mean, like their ranges are like pretty specific. So I didn't want to like say that there's toucans in Costa Rica if they ain't there. Right off the cereal box. They eat like this. Matthew makes chomping motions, then throws his head back. Yeah, nice to check. I was surprised to see the red blob not go all the way up. Yeah, like it's animals really do have very specific ranges. Like, so say that let's say that like already as we were like looking that up, I want to keep the 2PN thing because I want to have that big ass beak line. So say that that hadn't worked out, we could just say that it was at a sanctuary, right? But it's important for the reader to like understand that like we're like acknowledging. What am I fucking even trying to say here? Just this is during the editing, like that fact checking work is important to me because even though we're going to hire a fat checker, like even though we're going to hire a fact checker, they're not going to get everything. So as much of this checking out as we can is important to me, even though this is a fucking fantasy book, even though odds are 500 people ever will ever read this, and like maybe two of them would be like, toucans aren't actually in that range. Did you know that? And I'll tell you, this is like a consequence of like anything that is in a fucking book, some nerd will eventually call you on it. And I hate getting those emails. They're like, well, actually, that moon would probably be tidally locked, so your book doesn't make any fucking sense. And then I got to go through and post facto justify all these decisions. I had to do that for survival mode. Somebody was like, I think the moon would be tidally locked. And it'd be like, I had to, like, I think you should suck a dick because, like, this moon was like a later capture. It's actually in an anti-clockwise orbit, and like it's entirely possible. And we have, if you read survival mode, you know that there is like a day-night cycle. It's a small moon surrounding a gas giant. And fortunately, there are objects in our own solar system where they're not tidally locked because they've just been so recently captured. I think Ceres was the example that I used there, where it had like a weird rotation. But usually moons are tidally locked by the mass of the giant planet that they're orbiting. And there's some math behind it. But that's just like one example. I really do not like to fuck things like that up and get them into print. Nowadays, it's kind of nice because, like, actually, if you ever make a major error, you can just correct it and publish a new edition on Amazon like fucking that. And your ebooks, you can just edit them immediately. So you can like patch your books when you're doing print on demand. But the print books are still out there, like with the errors and so forth in them. So, I don't know, editing is important to me. And it's more, I wonder how much of that is like I want to make a good book and how much is like I just don't want fucking nerds being like, well, actually, ugh, ugh, disgusting. Matthew makes chomping motions, throwing his head back like, oh, we. Oh, fuck. We have to have a period there because that ends the sentence. But it looks so shitty with like the fucking. That looks awful to me in terms of punctuation. I'm just gonna fucking let it rock with the M dash, and then an editor can figure out how to do that. Fuck do they eat with that big ass beak? Other birds? Oh man, fruit. Everything down there eats fruit. You'll see. Shit. You don't have any weed on you, do you? Remember, we going through security. Gonna be extra crazy because of that terror shit. Thirsty has a thing about airport security. He might as well be wearing a turban and a Death to USA t-shirt. That's just how it is. Nah, nothing bad. That's not the. Matthew looks out the window. The cab is sailing past Union Square. He was so busy talking to Thirsty he hadn't even noticed they were going this way. He had assumed the driver would take the Lincoln Tunnel. They're on Broadway headed south. 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 Towards Chinatown. Hey! Why aren't you taking the tunnel? Matthew shouts. So loud Thirsty jumps a little in his seat. All right, let's make sure we're getting the verbiage there right. Yeah, New York Taxi and Limousine Commission. Limousine Commission licensed. The taxi driver's name is Najiri. The driver's name is Najiri Mongo. It's printed on the New York Taxicab and Limousine Commission license, zip tied to the back of his seat. Najiri has been driving for a long time. He studiously ignores Matthew, still talking into his earpiece. Hey, I want to take the tunnel. Turn right. Matthew's voice is a little high-pitched and... Matthew's voice is high-pitched and is high and panicked. Thirsty's looking at him weird. Tunnel this way, Najiri says. His voice is old, his grin is wide, his cares all dried up and fell off years ago. He's in a groove right now, zipping through every light, and he's not about to slow up. He doesn't turn down the radio. He doesn't give a fuck. The Lincoln Tunnel, Matthew shouts. Holland, closer. I don't care. Turn right. Take the Lincoln. No turn here. No. No turn allowed here. Turn not permitted here. No. Man, that's cool, man. Holland is okay. Calm down, man. It's not fucking okay. Turn this fucking cab around. Take the Lincoln. Najiri snorts and shrugs. He throws on the right turn blinker, but the streets are all one way here. They cross West 8th Street. Matthew's chest hurts. He's breathing too fast. He's worried this guy's a fucking agent for Duchance or something. We're still far enough away. There are a million people down here. We'll just pass through and get out. It seems like every street in the world is one way in the wrong direction. They head West 4th, and Matthew clenches his fists into little white balls of fear. No, I don't like little white balls. Tight balls. Hell yeah. We're just driving through. There's no way he'll find me. The light's green ahead. They can turn on to West 3rd. It yellows, but Mongo doesn't care. He's gunning it. A man steps onto the crosswalk and wham! Najiri hits the brakes and the tires scream. Matthew tight balls. Yeah, words are definitely missing there. Hold on. Oh. I missed that. Just focus so much on tight balls. Yeah, that's a thing you can do, I guess. That is definitely a thing that you can do. Najiri slams the brakes. The tires scream, and the cab stops so hard Matthew and Thirsty fly forward and slam their faces into the seats.
The air is full of the smell of burning rubber. Najiri is laying on the horn like there's no tomorrow. The grin is gone now. Run, run, run. Yeah, let's italicize that. Open the door. Let's get the fuck out of here, Matthew shouts. Darcy is too shocked to react. Outside, Najiri Mongo is face down in the street. Outside, Najiri Mongo is face down on the street. The man in gray walks up to the taxi and raps on the window with a gold wedding ring, flashing his too white grin. Matthew's scrambling inside the cab. The door opens and the man in gray beckons. No, I think his backpack's in the way is a good suggestion. Yeah. Shout outs to Gene Wilder here. Boom. All right, that's better. It's a hard fucking chapter. All right, so we made it to page 301. That was my goal. So we made it to chapter 37, 301. That was a long chapter right there. It needed a lot of work. In fact, in general, Matthew chapters are going to need the most work out of all of this, because I got to tell you, Matthew and Thirsty are the worst characters in this story. Maybe Carl Mason is worse than the two of them, but you know, like the best character is probably Lemon. Second best, probably Sarah. God, just 2,000. It took 2 days to get through 2,100 words. Can I get a time from either of you? So day 36. Was it 2010 or 2100? It was 2011. And it's 235 yesterday and 146 today. But we made it. I mean, that's the real important thing there. Let me update some of these totals. So 134 for Spathy and 56 for Logic. And I think Brongulus made it to 14. Damn. And then I'm not going to deal with any of the other little edits there. These are the important bookmaking ones right there. But yeah, so we did some solid work today. I'm glad that I was able to, because I had to take a bunch of Benadryl to fucking knock myself out last night. So I'm always like a little worried that I'll be too foggy to work in the next morning. But I think we got it together and saw what was happening, and I feel good about it right there. Okay, so I'm supposed to do a show tonight. We'll really just have to see. I'm not 100% confident that I'm gonna feel up to it there. I hope I don't look like too dog shit here. Maybe you can't tell the difference. Maybe it's just all in my head. But not batting 1,000 today. But I think we did okay. Happy with where the story is going, and yeah, I mean, you didn't really think that Matthew was gonna make it to Costa Rica, did you? Did you truly? Yeah. Should have taken the fucking Lincoln Tunnel. But Holland closer. Yeah, I like, this is one where this has been in there since like the very first. I love the thought of, I think in the original one, the cab crashed into him and Duchance was just too powerful. It just wrecked the fucking taxi cab. But we shifted a little bit away from that. Like, this is probably like a little too much here. This come with me to a land of pure imagination. That's probably too much, but we'll see. So next is Zingaro, and I forget what that means. Does it mean like fucking vagabond or something? Let's find out. What is a Zingaro? It's a gypsy. Oh yeah, I should have known this one. Untouchable. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It should be Zingara, actually. Yeah, because it's yeah, it's so the Zingara there. Like, I guess you can guess who it's supposed to be. So that'll be a fun chapter, actually. So some neat shit coming up, and in the next couple of days we'll be able to finish day 2. So I think that there are a few more chapters there. We have made it to 301 pages, so another 25 pages, and we'll be halfway through this thing in just 37 days. So I look back, and it took us 72 days to edit Gravid, which is like twice the size. So we're just going much slower at the moment there. But we do what we can. All right, everybody have a good Sunday, and as